Warming up. Warming up.
That's
Don't knock it.
That's what it is.
Until you've tried it.
Rumble, rumble, rumble. Hello.
Hello there. Are
Hi,
we
Dad.
on?
I hope so.
Well, I hope so indeed.
Lord, I hope so. Yes.
All right.
Yes. Checking everything.
Checking everything.
So far, we are working, at least enough. Oh my goodness. Hi, family.
Hello.
How you guys doing?
We're okay.
Yeah.
We both rode on our exercise
Yeah, we
bikes
did our
It's very
exercise
exciting
bikes.
today.
And the good fight is just...
Husband read something yesterday that said marriage consists of waking up in the morning and telling the other person what they've done during the night. And he said, it's too real. I said, it is too real, because that's what we both do. We wake up in the morning. Is Mabel a Maltinese? That maybe, no, Maltinese, mother. Maltinese. I think.
That's a very apt
You
description.
don't know, she could be a Maltese. She could be a German Shepherd. Anything you want.
Maltinese. I like that. That'll be a new dog breed for us. So hi, everybody. Waiting as you're all sort of joining us here. I'm so glad that Soul won the Academy Award for Best Animated Feature Film and Best Score. I'm glad you're happy.
Yes, it's been a full week, 7 days since that thing called the Academy Awards.
Yeah.
And
What was that exactly?
I don't know.
well, see, the best part of all that is that it's over.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And I don't mean to be snide or glib.
Yeah, we
Neither
all
one
know
of those
what it
things.
was.
I've watched the Oscars, since I was a kid. It's a ritual in my life, as it is in many, many others. And they took a big swing this year.
They did.
Doing something,
I think it was wonderful that they actually tried to do it. Really.
Yeah.
Given that everything else is just
Everything else is like
everyone else is shrugging and saying, "Well, we're going virtual."
Yes.
Yeah, I'm very happy that it wasn't virtual. Like for everybody else, there were things we liked. There were things we didn't like.
Mm-hmm.
I was laughing as soon as it started because I just wanted to say, just clean the lens. Turn on normal light. It's okay. We actually can see a person straight on. That's acceptable as well. So that made me laugh. I love Asta. Yes, my dad's got his Asta t-shirt on.
Yes.
Asta fan
That's
club.
the fan club t-shirt.
Which actually ties it. I did bring out this. Kate Gabrielle, who is this lovely and very talented creator. She has so much cool stuff. My mom's looking at my husband's playing with the dogs outside. So she this year got to team up with TCM to help do some of their merch. And she did these, which I absolutely love, of the hosts. And I just think it's really cool and really fun.
It's fun.
And as I say, she's really talented. You can see her on the back, Kate Gabrielle. And she's online. You can find her all over the place.
We receive no remuneration.
Yeah, I bought these. I bought these myself.
So you understand.
I was very happy to support and bought these myself.
We would like to receive, but we don't. No.
But you wear a lot of her pins. You both have her t-shirts.
Yep.
She
does good stuff.
Yeah, we love supporting talented artists and people who do everything themselves. Bless them.
And can we dispense with the octaves, or do you think it's going to keep coming up today?
Some people might ask questions, but I think we can move forward. I will say, obviously, a lot of your questions today mentioned our Hercules. So just real quick, yes, on Monday when Herc went in for his surgery, they called me a little bit after they'd started, and this is still, it's funny to me just because of how they just, maybe someone taught this nice nurse that you're supposed to start with good news first before you give bad news.
Even if there is no good news.
Yeah, so she goes, so Herc is doing really well under the anesthesia. He's tolerating everything. We're really glad. I said, okay. She said, but the doctor wants to talk to you.
Uh-oh.
I said, okay. So she said, we're going to put you on speaker. And did.
It's never a good sign.
And she said, so we've opened him up, and there's not just a mass in his liver. The cancer is everywhere. And do you want us to close him up and send him home to you so you can figure out the euthanasia stuff, or do you want us to do it right now? I said, no, please don't do it yet. We would like to come and say goodbye. And that's what we did. And we got to hold him and tell him that he's the very best boy in the world, and cry a lot. And yeah, so we had to say goodbye to Herc on Monday.
Just weeks after saying
a
goodbye.
month and a half after losing Jude, we lost Herc. And I will tell you.
Again, remind my people of their ages.
Well, I was about to.
Yeah.
Jude was 15 and Herc was 14. And I got Jude when she was 6 weeks old. I got Herc when he was a year. And it is really, really, really hard. But, you know, when Jude passed, we got the chaos that is Mabel, our tiny, wonderful terror, the baby piranha. Who I think is just coming back inside now. Say my husband's been playing with them outside. But with saying goodbye to, thank you, honey. With saying goodbye to Herc, we did not think that we would find a friend so quickly or so so easily. But
now mind you, we're adjusting to the loss of the dogs.
Mm-hmm.
We're adjusting to the arrival of our new puppy, Mabel.
Yes.
And
the menace.
Who
there she is. Hello. There's the menace now.
Who's almost 6 months old.
Mm-hmm.
And like any puppy or baby, wantonly destructive, but not maliciously so.
No.
She doesn't mean to be destructive.
As she does this.
So much for film history.
So there goes Mabel. Hi Mabes. But my husband and I went, we'd been looking at different rescues just to start the process. Can I just say that
this is the first time for me, having been a dog lover many years and sadly having to, say goodbye, send dogs to puppy heaven, that I always thought, no, I can't get any more. I cannot do this again.
Nice.
But in this case with Hercules, I was so devastated.
Mm.
And I must say Scott as well.
My husband.
Yeah.
You can see walking around in the back trying to deal with the menaces of the dogs.
Yeah. And I just said, I gotta get another dog.
Yeah.
This is terrible. My heart. And so Scott and Jesse were looking.
We were looking, and my mom actually saw 3 dogs that had just, hi baby, who had just gone to the Vanderpump Dogs Rescue
in LA, and that is Lisa Vanderpump
from Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, right, and all that.
But who is really a dog activist. She doesn't play at this.
No,
this is for real.
They do really good work. Anyway, my husband and I went and met these 3 dogs, and this one was so shy but so sweet, and immediately
not shy anymore.
No, not anymore. No, immediately fell in love with my husband, to the point where when my husband, because we had Mabel with us, because obviously we want them to meet, we had Mabel with us, and Scott went to walk her a little bit just to get her out, and this guy started crying for him. And we'd only been there for a short time, and he just looked at Scott and was like, yes, this is my new best friend, and we will be together all of the time. So I called my mom and I said, you should come over here and meet this dog. I think we might have a dog. So she did, and they handed Logan to her. That's his name. And yeah, someone just asked if we named him after Wolverine. He came with the name Logan, but it works out well because my husband does love Wolverine. But yeah, my mom held him and immediately fell in love.
It's funny because of the pictures that we saw on the site,
mm-hmm.
and it's a very easy site to use, by the way, Vanderpump Dogs, adoption Vanderpump Dogs. And I saw really 2 dogs that I thought were adorable. I didn't think doesn't take good pictures. And so when
not photogenic necessarily.
He did. Now he does.
Yeah.
So now, my gosh.
Now.
So when Jesse called and said Scott is taken to Logan, I went, "Hi, Logan, really?" And as soon as I walked into the adoption place, it's really a store, and I saw that Scott was holding this dog. And
it's really funny that you've turned. Scott wasn't holding him. Scott was outside. You came in and they brought him down to you.
Oh.
They brought him down to
See,
you while you were
when you
sitting
get
down.
older,
And when they handed him to you, he just did this. He just went, okay, and
And that
collapsed
was
into
it.
your arms.
I mean,
So
that was it pretty much.
Yeah.
Right there.
So we brought him home, and he's here now, and he's a little under 2 years old. We gave him a bath. Again, God bless my husband. He got into the bathtub with him yesterday and gave him a good bath, which was great. We got some of those evil fleas and ticks off of him. But
And he is making himself, he immediately made
Yeah.
himself at home.
we've
Yeah.
literally only had him since Friday evening.
And he's
this
like,
is,
okay, this
so
is my
yeah.
house. See, that's my pool. This
Yeah.
is my house.
So
Yeah.
we're very happy to
And that's my
introduce
sister.
you.
That's my
Yeah,
baby,
that's
yeah,
my
baby
that's my
sister.
baby
Who's
sister
driving me crazy?
who's trying to eat me. Mabel's new favorite toys are his ears and his tail. But we feel very, very lucky. And
Because this guy,
Lucky to
this
have
guy
him.
needs, you know,
Mabel.
this guy
And then
needed
there's
a
Mabel.
home.
So
And,
yeah.
and what was funny, we were waiting for the vet to come to give him his rabies shot. And the vet wasn't coming. So we have to leave Logan and come back, Saturday. And we couldn't
leave him.
We couldn't leave him.
He was too good a boy.
So we waited an hour for the
yeah.
vet to come.
I said, you come back tomorrow.
We said, no
no,
thanks. Taking him
no.
home now.
Now.
So anyway, that is our family update. So this is the newest member of the family. This
So
is
now we have
Logan.
Logan and Mabel.
Logan and Mabel.
Never to be replaced.
And they look incredibly
Adorable
cute
together. They suit each other.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, so that's where we're at, and that's what we've been doing. So part of this week was not movie filled for us; it was
Mhm.
grief, and now there's happiness again.
Yeah.
You know, nothing replaces your dogs.
No.
Nothing
and
in the world replaces
Kirk is
them.
in our hearts. Jude's in our
And
hearts.
especially when they've been with you so long.
Yep.
They had
But I have a feeling we can make a tiny cinephile out of you yet, and I would bet he just
Look at
wants
that
to be
face.
held and loved.
That's all.
So yeah, so
So
that's
beautiful.
where we are, my friends. That's a Maltin update for you to tell you what's going on
Oh.
with us. My little boy. Oh.
Anyway,
What all do you have in your lap, Mr. Maltin?
I've got all sorts of stuff.
You've
but
got
I
a
don't
stack
want-
of stuff.
Well, first,
Start with the stack in your lap.
well,
Huge stack of things
He's so
I
shy.
came upon these because these used to be up on
in our bathroom.
in our bathroom in our other house,
What else he's got?
and so
What else he's got?
being on the wall
Mhm.
opposite
The toilet.
the business end of the bathroom, one tended to stare at these a lot. And Jessie, when she was quite young, memorized
I memorized them all.
all of these. These are store display or on cardboard, store display pieces for Van Heusen shirts, as advertised in Esquire, the world's smartest menswear, Van Heusen. So these are all posed in the 1950s by male stars, like
Of the 19 William Lundigan.
here called Bill Lundigan.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And he's like foam.
Yeah, they're mounted on foam core.
I will put him on the floor.
I'll pick them up as soon as.
And William Holden.
Yep.
With
So this is one of our favorites, which is Man, What Hues in Van Heusen. And
Chromosome.
it's one of the ones I repeat, I think, most often to my dad.
This is the one.
Man, What Hues in Van Heusen. Ah, yes, my other favorite. Yes, Dan, it sure is dandy.
I hope a copywriter wasn't promoted on the basis of that line.
I love it.
Dan Daly appearing in 20th Century Fox's There's No Business Like Show Business.
That's right.
And who do you think of when you think of a Van Accord sports shirt? You think, of course,
Burt Lancaster. You look handsome as a star in a Van Heusen Van Accord sports
There
shirt.
you go. They don't make them like they used to. Wait, it's really, I forgot those. Gee whiz.
Henrik likes the Lone Ranger behind us.
oh, well, that's great. And you can be rugged and good looking too.
The motto of our household.
In Van der Rohe sports shirts, posed by the co-stars of East of Sumatra from Universal International in Technicolor, Jeff Chandler and Anthony Quinn. And last but not least,
Never
certainly,
least.
the star of Saberjet, filmed in super Cinecolor,
Elliot Ness himself.
Robert Stack.
Hang on, my friends. Let me just say, a miracle for wear, a wonder for washing.
I think about you like that.
A miracle for
I do,
wear,
yes.
a wonder for washing.
Yeah.
It just, they don't, when we
You know?
say they don't make them like they used to, we mean that very, very literally.
I could put,
Aren't those swell?
yeah.
What I've been doing this past week or so, it's a long-term project that I'm chipping away at,
Mm-hmm.
is I'm trying to catalog all of this stuff so that if someday, say, I'm writing an article about William Lundigan, and I want to have an illustration that isn't just a movie still, I say, oh yeah, there's that Van Heusen ad. That might be fun to reprint, and I'd know where to find it.
Yes.
That's my goal, with the aid of computer, word search. So that's why I've been going through all these things.
Someone's asking what my mom's shirt says. It says, "I don't care who dies in a movie as long as the dog lives."
Yes, this is from
Dogs.
I Heart Dogs. I was going to say I Heart Shirts.
I heart dogs.
I don't know if they even do it anymore.
They do.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
A very good organization.
Yeah.
They too.
Whatever you buy, it'll say
a lot of
underneath,
rescue.
this buys 10 shelter meals. This buys this buys that.
And they're involved in flying dogs across the country.
Yeah, they'll bring them to
from
owners.
Shelters, whether it's puppy mills,
They're good
and they'll
people.
bring them. I mean, they're just good people. Yeah.
We really like dogs.
I don't know if you know this in our house.
We
Well, that's
really
so
like
strange.
animals.
It's so strange that we are all like this, and that I am
Yeah.
every bit as involved and engaged
Which is
and
funny
in love with our new
because-
dogs.
Yeah.
Because his family couldn't keep turtles, which are now outlawed.
No, I
But-
never had a pet growing up. But most especially, not only didn't I have dogs, I was afraid of dogs.
Mm.
Our next door neighbor had a dog that they tied up in the back while they were off at business during the day. And so he was always straining on the chain, pulling against the chain that they had him posted to in the backyard, and barking. And it seemed to me barking angrily. And no one ever steered me otherwise.
Mhm.
And none of my friends had dogs, so I never got to know them.
Yeah.
And so I'm a convert of long standing now.
Yeah.
But I'm like most converts, I'm really sold.
Yeah.
Sell
Yeah. It's so good. Is your husband real? He is real. I promise he's real.
No, it's not really real.
Give me
We
your
just
hand
say
for 1
that.
second. Come here.
No,
Just
he
give me your
won't.
hand. Give me a shoe. Give me something that shows them that you
You gotta
exist.
take a picture and put it
Anything
up.
at all.
They should just take our word for it. Our viewers by now,
I will end you.
our
Listen,
viewers should certainly know
Listen, you.
to trust us by this time.
I promise he's real. What did you think of the Richard Gere dog movie? Which movie is that? Richard Gere dog
Oh.
movie? Is Richard Gere dressed up as a dog? Because if it is, then I will watch it.
I
I'm
must
sure
have-
I'll love it.
I must have missed that.
I don't know.
must have been
We don't really
sleeping.
watch dog movies because they make us
We're
upset.
very
So we
sensitive.
don't watch them.
You know,
Uh,
there's a site, there's an app that says if the dog
No,
died-
it's a website called doesthedogdie.com. And I use it all damn day because I
But
cannot.
it's not even that though. If a dog is imperiled,
Yeah.
even if you've been told and reassured
Mhm.
that everything turns out okay, those moments of peril, she's out of there.
I know
Yeah.
it's embarrassing. I mean,
She's
to a
just-
certain
I feel
degree.
like Leonard should have had a dog like Little Rascals with a circle around his eye. Yes, Petey. We should have had, Mabel, maybe she's white. Maybe we can just do the circle
No,
around
it's
her
fine.
eye.
She won't mind. She'll
What do you
love
think,
it.
Mabes? You want to do that? She says, no, I don't. She just wants to roll in the mud. The Richard Gere film is called Haiku. I don't know anything about it. Anybody?
Yeah.
Bueller?
I saw it.
And
My recollection is dim, but I think I liked it.
My recollection is dim, he says. Well,
About everything.
that's all we've got.
But what I had for breakfast,
What's
about
this
everything.
Wedgwood?
Okay, so we know if you've been paying attention, Alice
Agnes?
please. Alice is an Anglophile. Say
Well,
that 5 times.
someone else is too.
Well,
Jesse.
Oh, Hachi, A Dog's Tale.
that's it.
There you go.
That's the one. No, it's lovely. It's lovely. The tear ducts get a workout.
Yeah. We don't. My mom and I don't watch any of that.
Yeah.
Nope.
Anyway, question? Quite a bit. Hey!
Yeah. Wasn't that fun, everybody?
Yes.
I know I enjoyed it. Hang on 1 second. Let's see if it's working properly. It says it is. Which is- yeah. There we go.
All right, please Google box office hits 1957.
All right.
Let's get a sampling.
All right.
Now, see, the problem is that in the 50s,
No, Stalag 17 was 53.
the films that I maintain, the films that have held up best are not the box office hits necessarily,
Yeah.
and not the Academy Award winners,
Yes.
but the science fiction films, the westerns, the gangster films, the genre films.
Thank you, Rick. Yeah, welcome back. Every now and then that technology, just to make sure I don't sleep at night, does that for us. So somebody said that Ben Mankiewicz says that he thinks 1957 is just as good a year for film as
39.
yeah. And so the first things that come up are Bridge on the River Kwai, Peyton Place, Sayonara, Search for Paradise.
See, already,
So
my point is made.
yeah,
That not just that these films are inferior, which they're not
Yes.
necessarily,
yes,
but like 40 Guns, Samuel Fuller's 40 Guns with Barbara
Mhm.
Stanwyck. I believe that's a 1957 film.
mm-hmm.
You'll find, and what did Bud Bedecker direct in 1957? Decision at Dawn. The with Randolph Scott. This is where you find the
Randolph Scott.
Right.
Yeah,
It's a sick
it's
household.
a
You
sad
understand
household.
it.
Yeah, it is. Yes.
Anyway, but I don't think blow for blow you can compare the two.
Again, we tend not to. We're not big on lists or best ofs.
Yeah, people always want me to do lists, and I understand. People love lists. People love to argue with lists.
Mm-hmm.
The temptation is great to put everything in a list so you can say, no, he's wrong about that.
Mm-hmm.
Why couldn't he have included such and such?
So
But you have to remember when films were made, what was going on. because that has a lot to do with the movies that you're looking
Well,
at.
sure. I mean,
1939, we weren't in the war yet, but there was
but
already war in Europe.
just as in 1957, we were that's just over a decade, just after 12 years since the end of World War II. So the aftermath and the baby boom and the rise of suburbia and all of those things were affected. I mean, Peyton Place was considered a scandalous movie based on a scandalous
it's pretty funny
book,
now. Wow.
scandalous best-selling book
Yeah.
about a town where
It was a great movie.
secrets were whispered.
I loved it.
Well, see, at age 6 or 7, what did I care about Peyton Place? So so I didn't experience those. I do remember seeing.
I was what was it? I was born in 43. So what was I?
14.
14. It was my time.
Yeah.
There you go.
But see, again, it's such an interesting thing. People do, they love lists. They want you to say what you hate, what you love. They want extreme reactions. And for us, sort of, as I say, in general, it's just not really how we operate.
No.
I also laugh. I always joke that people have 2 lists for pretty much anything. If you say to someone, what are your favorite bands? Somebody might say, oh, the Rolling Stones and so-and-so and so-and-so, because it's stuff that you think sounds cool, that people will respect. And I feel people do that a lot with movies, where they have the one list where you go, so what are your favorite films? Oh, well, Bridge on the River Kwai, classic. I love Citizen Kane. You can go through all that. And then then there's the actual list of movies you love, which will absolutely include some that people may agree with you. But then there's also going to be a whole heap of movies that you go, I watch this all the time and everyone hates it and that's okay. This is terrible, but in the best way possible.
Guilty pleasure list.
Yeah, except as we say, we're not guilty.
We don't feel guilty.
So, each to his own.
Yeah. And there are some films and TV shows too that are comfort food. It's comfort foods. And that's the thing, is that you have whatever makes you happy. And that will be different for every person, Again, like I will never watch Lassie. I am too sensitive to all animal things.
Yearling.
Some people love it to death. Can't do it. I think I have a new favorite question, which is here. It says, can the new Space Jam come close to the original? Did anyone watch the first one and think, now this is cinema?
A lot of people liked it. A lot of people went to see it. It made a fortune.
It's a blast. It's a lot of fun. But I feel like it doesn't have a lot to live up to. Like, you know what I mean? Maybe it does. Maybe I'm wrong. No. Do you even remember the first one?
Not clearly.
No.
I didn't.
I don't think you saw it. Yeah.
Oh, I saw it, of course.
No, Mommy. Mommy didn't see it.
Yeah.
But you did.
I sure did.
Yeah. We probably saw it together.
I was put off. This is a cartoon buff response. I was put off by the airbrushing of the characters. Bugs Bunny looked fine just the way he was.
Yeah.
All those years and all those many, many cartoons without having kind of a soft airbrush line around the outline of his body.
Mm-hmm.
But the animation was good. It was okay. It was okay.
It's fun. Space Jam's fun. I think that can the new one live up to it? Yeah. It's also fun.
Yeah.
If it's a good time.
If they've done it right.
If it's a good time, that's really all I think you'd be looking for. What were your biggest surprises or snubs from last week's Oscars? We were pretty happy in a general
I really
sense.
liked News of the World, and it just got nothing.
It got no Oscar love.
Nothing. I mean, the cinematography in that film was exquisite. Nothing. It didn't work.
I liked everything about that movie.
Yeah.
And it's one of my favorites of last year.
And it just went nowhere. No.
And it got caught in the vortex
of the pandemic.
And its effect, its crippling effect on the movie industry. Here was a major studio movie with a major star, Tom Hanks, a major director, Paul Greengrass, and it didn't really get released.
No.
Mm-hmm.
They quote unquote released it Christmas Day.
Yeah, except not really, but
except
kind of.
what theaters were there to play it?
They should have just.
I know there were some.
They should have just put it on the screen, on
Yeah.
the TV screen.
And by the
Yeah.
time they did put it, on streaming platforms and charging premium for that,
It was too late.
the publicity and advertising that they put
Yeah.
out for its so-called
Was gone.
theatrical release had dissipated. It didn't get a fair shake. That's what I think about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Other awards, I don't believe in the word snub, but one of the toughest categories was best documentary. They were all so good.
Oh, yeah.
Did you see the reaction though to My Octopus Teacher winning? People were livid.
Oh, well,
Why?
Like
It's a
it
great-
got a big old. People were pissed that it won.
Well, I was kind of hoping Crip
Camp.
Yeah.
would have
yeah.
won because
A lot of-
it's such a good subject and so well done.
And it's a film that really sort of engages you in every way, emotionally
Mhm.
and intellectually.
It's funny.
too.
It was running in the beginning. It really had great.
Yeah, it seemed like
it was going to win.
definite. front
And then
Yeah.
My Octopus started catching up with
Yeah.
all those legs, the 8 legs. They started
Tentacles.
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 Tentacles. No, I know a lot of people. Again, I think what you have to remember is whether a movie wins or loses anything, you're allowed to love it. And just like we said to you last week, it's really important that you don't just let a movie go. If you love it, share it with your friends. Tell everyone you know about it. Share it with your friends. That's the best thing you can do with a movie that you love. So if you loved Crip Camp, then keep telling people you love Crip Camp.
Yeah.
And-
Don't stop recommending it.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
Keep the word of mouth going.
now that we're allowed to be together in certain scenarios, show it to someone. Most of these, that's the other thing though, that a lot of people talked about after the Oscars, is that for the first time in a very long time, almost everything that was nominated is available,
Mm-hmm.
because so much stuff was streamable to begin with. So this is a time when if somebody says, hey, Sound of Metal really was that good,
Mm-hmm.
you can go watch it.
Yep.
So as I say, if you loved Crip Camp or any of the other docs, same with the shorts. If you loved it, go watch it. Share it with everybody.
I have very few complaints about the actual, awards themselves.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and look, they were drawing from a pretty finite pool
Compared to the normal
of exceptional
stuff.
movies.
Yeah.
So they couldn't go too far wrong, no matter what they did.
Yeah.
And Anthony Hopkins is great in The Father. It's just no getting around it.
That's it. I don't think other than Octopus Teacher seemed to be the only one that people got real mad about. In general, I don't think anybody was angry about a win. They were more so just maybe sad that what they wanted to didn't win.
Yeah.
Which happens every year, really.
I'm wondering how much it costs you to do these live shows. That is an interesting question. The answer technically is nothing.
I charge for my time.
I mean, she's the most expensive part of this.
Craft services.
Yeah. It doesn't cost anything, sort of, but we do. Obviously, we pay for Restream, and but we have most of the equipment already that lives here. And certainly this year, because I've had to film my dad, it does make me laugh that so much. Almost anytime you've seen my dad on something, it's been me and my husband filming him at home, either on my phone or using a computer.
Last time I did an evening on TCM in November with Dave Carter.
Yeah.
We were sitting a few feet away from where we are now.
My husband and I were lighting everything and putting curtain, or I think you tacked up a sheet or something over the window. It's homemade. Everything's homemade.
Yeah.
But it does make me laugh.
Artisanal.
Yeah, very bespoke stuff. So it makes me laugh to think that the thing that I shot in your office on my phone is on the television.
I think you should have been nominated.
I should have been. My cinematography in the last year and a half has been spectacular, let me tell you. No. Have you ever held an Oscar before? Whose was it? We have.
Yes, several times.
Richard Sherman.
Yeah.
He held his.
Robert Youngson, who won 2 Best Short Subject prizes in the 1950s, and who made the film that changed my life, The Golden Age of Comedy, which opened the window wide to silent movie comedy. I got to interview and then became a friend. And he had his Oscars, and those were the first ones I ever held.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, a lot of, again, because we live here, it's going to sound silly. A lot of people have awards.
It's not uncommon to walk into a house and see on the
a Golden
on the
Globe, an
hearth-
Emmy.
Yeah, the Golden
Well,
Globe.
I'll tell you what I'll never forget. I'll never forget interviewing Henry Mancini at his home in Beverly Hills or Bel Air, I forget. They had a lovely home, of course, and a wet bar with glass shelf after glass shelf. Grammy.
Yeah.
It's like,
Well, that's when we interviewed Quincy Jones.
Yes,
Oh, yes,
same thing.
Like, it was
Yeah.
ridiculous. You walk into that office. Rachel, what was your favorite movie this year? I want to know what you loved. But yeah, we're very, very lucky. But also, there are so many museums here.
Yeah.
So when we even at Dee Dee's at the Hollywood Museum, they had one. I don't remember which one I held that day. They're heavy. Is the
that's
main
what
thing.
everybody
They're
says
real
the same
heavy.
thing because it's true.
Yeah, they're heavy.
They're heavy, yeah.
Oscars are heavy. Golden Globes are huge. They're massive. Like, they're really large, physically large awards. I don't think it ever gets old. I think it's
You look at an Oscar
cool,
and you go, "Oh my God, that's an Oscar."
I've grown up knowing Rick Baker and
Oh
his
God,
two
8-time.
and his two amazing daughters, and he's got a row of
Only
Oscars.
8. He only has 8
Yeah. So
Oscars.
yeah, very,
Yeah.
very, very lucky.
8
Something.
or 7.
I think it's 8.
7, but
No,
he's been nominated 400 times.
I think
so I'm
Sylvia
not
said
sure.
it was 8. Okay.
Well, what does his wife know?
That's right. She don't know.
I just rewatched the great movie Less Than Zero. Do you have any stories about Andrew McCarthy, Robert Downey Jr., or Jamie Gertz?
No.
Fun fact about Less Than Zero, the author went to the school I grew up going to, and that was a big deal. So
Bret Easton Ellis.
he did. He went to Buckley, and so for all of us who went there, it's very funny. I think that kind of a book would have been written coming out of the school.
There was.
That's the Buckley School in Los Angeles, not the one in New York City.
What she said. Yeah.
There was a deli in Century City that didn't last very long. And maybe it was the LA version of the Stage Deli.
I think so.
That had a Jamie Gertz sandwich.
You do have actually some very nice Robert
There
Downey
you go.
Jr. moments.
Oh,
though.
Yes,
he's
He's a
We've had
lovely
fun.
man.
he's a doll.
He's
just,
fun. He's fun.
He deserves every bit of success
Mm-hmm.
that he is enjoying. I hope he is still enjoying his success, and he's been very kind to all of us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's really nice. He's a really nice man. And I think that he's been through a lot, as we all know.
And he survived.
And he has survived it. And I think he's enjoying every moment.
And he took what he had done with the drugs. And I mean, he said, "Yes, I did it. I'm going to do the time."
Yeah.
He didn't make any excuses for himself.
I think he's living the best mea culpa.
Yeah.
It's one thing to say it; it's another thing to actually do that.
Yeah.
So Rachel's our pal from TCM,
Right.
but also now real life. And for her, Crip Camp was her favorite film of the year. Now, something I do just want to mention is, and this is a big deal, you will be reading more about accessibility. And what does that mean? That means captions. That means captioning photos. That means captioning videos. I'm figuring out how we can do it on this, actually, which takes some doing, but my fingers are crossed. Accessibility means exactly that, making it so that anyone can look at something and it will be accessible for them.
And last week's ceremony, last week's
was
stage.
the very first time. Think about this for a second.
Yeah.
The first time there was a ramp in the event that Crip Camp won, so that the winners would be able to get on stage. The first time in Oscar history,
yes,
it was handicap accessible. That's insane.
It's insane it took so long.
It should never take that long. Anyway, so fingers crossed, we'll be seeing more and more of that. And it just means that everybody gets to enjoy things. And that's, as I say, it's a big deal, and it means a lot. If you've never had to deal with any kinds of health issues, and fingers crossed you never do, you won't be as aware of things like ramps and railings and elevators. You know, for all of us, it's the first thing that we look for when we walk
I have
into a
mobility
space.
problems, and
Yeah. We all do.
I'm always looking for
Yeah.
the handrail. I get really annoyed if there's
Yeah.
no handrail.
You know, so if it is something that you are aware of, then as I say, it's a big deal, and it means a whole hell of a lot. So I'm thrilled that has happened. Who do you believe originated the original Tarzan yell?
Well, it's Johnny Weissmuller.
Yeah.
Who was the star of the Tarzan the Ape Man, 1932 MGM. Now, Ben Burt, the masterful sound designer, Oscar-winning sound designer, who he created the sound of Darth Vader, he created the lightsaber, he created everything that people cherish. Wall-E, those are all his.
Yeah, it's all
well,
him.
he is a film buff of the highest degree. And he and his partner in crime, Craig Barron, who's a visual effects artist, do wonderful presentations. And they have a presentation on the Tarzan yell that, if left to his own devices, Ben could talk for an hour or two about the Tarzan yell.
Happily.
Because he has dissected it, bisected, dissected, explored, examined.
Check, please. Yeah.
And it is kind of fascinating that it's Johnny Weissmuller. I think fundamentally it's Johnny Weissmuller, but enhanced by other sounds. And Carol Burnett does it great. So
Yeah. We can say it's Carol Burnett. That's
why
fun.
not?
But yeah, he is the original. Watching Horror Express, Leonard, what are your thoughts about the Amicus horror anthologies?
I'm not an aficionado, so I can't speak with it. Milton Subotsky.
Leonard don't do horror. Leonard don't do horror at all.
But these were made in England, and they were a little more tasteful than the more recent ones. Sorry to let you down. I can't speak with any authority or intelligence about those.
Oh dear. Richard is watching Mortal Kombat, probably and saying that it's probably going to lead to more gaming films, Street Fighter et al.
Mm-hmm.
My husband and I watched Mortal Kombat. I thought it was fun. It's not that deep. I don't think it's meant to be that deep. It was fun. It was enjoyable. And a lot of good actors in it. Mm-hmm. Pretty ridiculous. Again, a kind of thing where if you're watching Mortal Kombat and expecting something other than Mortal Kombat, I don't know.
I'm waiting for the skee ball movie.
Yeah, well,
being old school
that's our
analog
favorite
type of guy.
Yeah,
that would be my dream.
Yeah. Did you like the original better, Mortal Kombat, or this one? You like the original better? Husband likes the original Mortal Kombat better.
You'll have to take our word for it. He just won't come on the camera.
No, I didn't expect him to. I just wanted him to tell me. Yeah, I keep him. He's cute.
We'll keep.
Jonathan wants to know what our favorite Sherman Brothers songs are.
Anything from Mary
all
Poppins.
Is all of them an answer?
So many of them. What was the one he did?
I do love Monkey's Uncle.
Yeah.
Big fan. Tall Paul is adorable.
Tall Paul, I love
Tall Paul.
Yeah.
Pineapple Princess.
Yeah.
All of them. Honest to God. The answer is, what's our favorite Sherman? All of them.
That was from the album Hawaiianette.
You see what they did there?
You see what they did there?
No, I don't care.
No, I love it. Exactly. Yeah. Rachel's saying that there's nothing wrong with movies just being fun. That's the thing.
Yeah.
It's all you want. So, my husband and I just watched the new Octavia Spencer and Melissa McCarthy
did you
movie
watch
that's
that?
on Netflix.
Yeah.
It's fun. I can't remember its name.
I'd like to watch it.
Thunder something?
Thunder Force. Thank you, honey.
I got half of that time.
Yeah, Thunder Force.
I'd like to see that.
It's another one, like, it's fun. It's entertaining. It was 10 o'clock at night, and it's one of those things where I'm sure many of you had this conversation with your significant other or roommate.
I'm getting pushed out.
Where you go.
I don't want to complain, but I'm getting pushed out of here.
My dad likes to sit on diagonals, and sometimes it just.
Poor him.
But it's we looked at each other and it's like, what do you want to put on? I said, why don't we just put this on? Because it's easy. It's nighttime. We don't want anything taxing. And it was just fun. And fun is great.
Last weekend, we went on a British expedition. Film Movement, which is a label that does Blu-ray and DVD releases, has been doing a number of post-World War II British films, including some prominent ones like The Dam Busters, starring Richard Todd and Michael Redgrave, among others.
At the time in England, the most popular film that year.
Yes, it was a huge hit because it was based on it was a true story.
Oh, it was a true story.
And in fact, they cast both Richard Todd and Michael Redgrave partly because of their resemblance to the real life figures that they portrayed. They were heroic figures, and one of them was the inventor of this bomb mechanism, and the other was the lead pilot of the mission. And the mission was to fly from England
to Germany
at a very low level. I mean, a dangerously low level, and bust dams, and in such a way that it would flood
and would really wreak havoc.
It would cripple.
War is wonderful.
The Germans, the Nazis. So anyway, the Dam Busters is still good.
Yeah, it works.
It's still good.
Works.
Now you have to be forgiving of the visual effects because at the time they were pretty good, and now they're not. One of the things I learned early on, I made home movies with my friends when I was in junior high school, and one of the things you learn when you're playing around with an 8mm camera, as I was then, is that two things don't look the way you think they're going to: fire and water. If you're going to do this in like a backyard type of, low rent operation, and you light like something on fire, it looks like that crumpled piece of paper is on fire. It does not look like a forest fire. No way to make that happen.
No.
And that little boat that you put in your bathtub, there's no way it's going to look like the Pacific Ocean. It just isn't going to happen. So this was the same problem that was facing people who worked on a larger scale. They built huge miniatures. The Lydecker brothers, the geniuses at Republic Pictures, who did some of the best effects ever, they like to call them scale models, not miniatures, because some of their miniatures are the size of this room. So it's a misleading name. Anyway, dramatically, it holds up. And they have some...
they actually use some real footage.
Yeah. And they have some bonus footage and feature stories that are good. Then we watched Ice Cold and Alex, an impenetrable British title for a movie that was released here, I think, as under the title Desert Attack. What was the American title for a much shortened version of this movie, starring my wife's favorite, John Mills, later Sir John Mills.
Sir John.
Haley's father.
Haley's dad.
And Juliet.
And Juliet's dad. This is very entertaining. It's a very entertaining movie about an incredible, not a mission, it was just an incident where a crew of 4 are trying to cross the desert to Alexandria in Africa during the war, and with the problems of water running out.
You're in the desert. All those problems.
Stuff like, and that,
desert problems.
Yeah.
And that soldier that you picked up because he had no other way to travel. Is he for real? Or is there something mysterious about him?
Something mysterious. We're not going to say.
Anyway.
You have to see it.
One of the things on
dun, dun, dun.
One of the bonus features is apparently Sir John Mills took home movies.
Yeah.
On location.
On location.
And,
he always did.
And you know what? His home movies aren't any better than anyone else's home movies.
People get so stupid. I don't care who you are.
People make faces,
silly,
and
like we all do.
Yeah.
We all do.
And he took a lot of home movies.
Yeah. A lot. Anyway, they're at the BFI, and the British Film Institute, given by his son, Jonathan Mills.
Which enabled them to show them here. and this is an entertaining movie with Sylvia Sims, Anthony Quayle, and Harry Andrews. So it's a top drawer cast. We haven't yet had time to watch
I didn't
Dunkirk.
feel like a war movie.
She didn't feel like a war
I just
movie.
didn't feel like a war movie.
Again, starring John Mills, Richard Attenborough, and Bernard Lee. And so these three are all available. And they're all originally done by Associated British Pathé, and the quality is top notch.
Yeah,
Good
it really
job.
looks
They look
great.
and
It's been
sound good.
restored by
And-
the BFI. It looks great.
Someone here is saying, could you guys please do more animation history podcasts? Love you guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I will tell you, if you have, so we've got the podcast with Jerry Beck, Mark Evanier, Don Hahn. We did a whole episode dedicated to
Oh, the Howard documentary.
Yeah, the Howard
Ashman
documentary. And so we spoke to multiple people about that, but there was a whole bunch of animation folks there. Getting my dad to talk about animation is not difficult. It is one of his favorite things in the whole wide world. And I think we also went into that on the Leonard Maltin Day episode, where I just sort of asked my dad to tell a whole bunch of his stories. And one of the ones he talks about is how he came to write the Disney book, which is fascinating, honestly. To me, it's still, to this day, I am amazed at how it came together and what a kid was able to do. It's really wild.
By the way, speaking of Disney, this is not too big a stretch. Someone was admiring this beautiful sculpt.
Yes, Henrik was enjoying the Lone Ranger.
The Lone Ranger. That was sculpted by my friend Ruben Procopio.
Amazing, Ruben.
Incredibly talented guy who has been a story artist, a sculptor of maquettes, which are like sculpts that animators use as reference. You know, how would this character look from this angle? You know, how is it going to look when he falls down or she falls down?
Mm-hmm.
He provides and he's a second generation Disney sculptor. Some of his father's work is still in Anaheim. And his sister, Vivian, also a longtime Disney employee. It's a family that had made a lasting impression on all things Disney.
Leslie Iwerks was just at, and we've interviewed Leslie Iwerks, who's amazing as well. Leslie was just at Disneyland a day earlier than the big opening when they were having, they did sort of the test run during the week. Fridays when they open, what?
Nothing, sorry.
She saw a mosquito when she did.
Yeah,
I did, yeah.
They did sort of a test run in the week leading up to Friday, which was their big official opening up again at Disneyland. And so a lot of our friends have been down this week. And Leslie was there and has a picture with Mickey Mouse. And it's just, there's just something so incredibly cool knowing that that's 3 generations.
Yes.
That's the 3rd generation of Iwerks at Disney, you know? It's really neat. Really, really neat.
Iwerks was a colleague of Walt's in Kansas City. And
he goes way back.
Yeah.
Whoa. Sorry, just
help you
getting my
with that,
coffee.
darling.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
Alice has tiny little arms and she can't reach.
Ub was incredibly productive as an animator, and he drew the first Mickey.
Yeah.
And he animated.
No big deal, right?
He animated Steamboat Willie and the Skeleton Dance almost single-handed. I mean, there were others contributing, but he was the one that
the guy
Walt leaned on, and a remarkable guy. And both his sons went to work for the studio, and the one that we know personally is Don, who, like his father Ub, became a specialist in visual effects and mechanical operations.
Very technical and very technical minded, which is so interesting to listen to him because he's one of those people who can explain something and at the end I go, I don't understand anything you just told me, but it's really cool. Another fascinating man. What was his book called? The one that came out, I guess it's 2 years ago now.
Is it that long?
Maybe it's more than that.
Well,
because last year didn't exist. So was it that? No.
I think it was the year before.
It was. So it's got to be like 2 years.
Yeah.
Remember the name of the book? Let me look. Don't worry about it.
It's not a simple title.
1 second.
That's what it's called, not a simple
Yeah.
title.
Ultimate Inventor, is it that
Yeah.
one? Yeah. So Walt Disney's Ultimate Inventor, the Genius of Iwerks. And you wrote the foreword?
Yeah.
Yeah, you wrote the foreword.
It's a
for that one.
large format
The big old book.
book, and it's really good, really, really interesting.
Yeah.
And you don't have to be a high-tech person, because I am not that, to
I
follow.
think that clearly shows.
Yeah,
actually.
yeah.
Now, speaking of visual effects and high-tech, Alice, as I started to say 45 minutes ago, is an Anglophile.
Yeah.
And the first thing that she started collecting or accumulating, because
When I was-
your parents brought
Yeah,
home
they brought it back. They used to,
when they travel on
you know,
cruises,
yeah,
was Wedgwood. And
get it in the Caribbean inexpensively. Yeah.
And this is an unusual piece. You might say, has there ever been a licensed Stanley Kubrick collectible? Yeah. Wedgwood did an official 2001: A Space Odyssey plate. Go figure.
That is hilarious. On the back, it says, a Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer presentation of a Stanley Kubrick production, 2001: A Space Odyssey in Cinerama, filmed in Super Panavision and Technicolor. Wedgwood, made in England.
Okay. There you go.
Void where prohibited.
That's right.
Yes. Yes.
Now it'll be available in all states.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
It's really
It's pretty
cool.
cool.
Yeah, it was cool then too. And I don't know how many they made. Honey, that's not going to work.
No.
sweetie. Yeah,
I'm doing it back,
right. Okay.
as I do so many things.
Yeah.
All right. I'll fix it later.
There we go. And then this.
Well, again, I forget what I have. I've just accumulated so much stuff. I forget what I have. So I'm going through a pile of papers and programs and magazines, and I find this impressive spiral-bound program book for a tribute to Dean Martin and Jerry Lewis at the Friars Club, for which they commissioned Al Hirschfeld, the great caricaturist, to do the cover art of Dean and Jerry. And the date is interesting. It's March 1955. I'm not sure Dean and Jerry were still communicating with each other directly at that moment, but they probably couldn't get out of attending this.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
Because they officially broke up the next year.
So it has a lot of, just like programs do now when you go to events, people
Best
have
wishes,
purchase
yeah.
pages. So
Yeah.
congratulations, Dean and Jerry, Jack Benny. Our deep affection to two guys who, with the William Morris office, are responsible for all of our success. Will Maston Trio and Sammy Davis Jr.
There you go.
This one just says Eugene Greenhut. He had nothing else to say.
He didn't really care.
Eugene is a simple guy. And
He didn't
Eugene just said, here, take my money.
Ted Lewis, the high-hatted tragedian of song.
This is, okay, rappers think their names are clever today. They have nothing on the old guys. Nothing at all. What's the?
Oh,
I mean, so Milton Berle's nickname was the thief of bad gags.
it was something said about him.
Yeah.
But
Because he did steal gas.
Because he stole gas.
her nibs, Miss Georgia Gibbs.
Yes.
The Singing Rage, Miss Patty Page. Tommy Dorsey, the Sentimental Gentleman of Swing. Benny Goodman.
Tommy Dorsey, the Sentimental Gentleman of Swing.
Because he had a big hit called Getting Sentimental.
Oh,
Every Year.
I know. I'm just saying.
Have you two met
It's
each other?
it's wordy, but I like it. It's wordy, but I can get into it.
My favorite is Sophie Tucker, that's the Red Hot Mamas.
Yes. To which we say Alice is actually the last.
Hey,
of the Red Hot Mamas.
hey.
Hello, Maltin family. Hi, Amy. We just finished Shadow and Bone on Netflix. Have you seen it? Very well done series. I am on episode 2. I don't think you two are going to watch it.
Mm-hmm.
Again, my mom's not much into science fiction.
Yeah, it doesn't work for me.
Mystery magic type. But I just started it. I thought it was all right. And our pal Ryan said he wants to know if we are going to go to the Walt Disney Studios and World War II exhibition that recently opened up at the Walt Disney Family Museum.
We hope to get there,
As soon
yes.
as we travel, but we haven't.
Yeah.
We're not traveling yet. We're just not.
My cousin is being bar mitzvahed in July in Northern California. So I think
Well, but no, they're keeping it to a few people. It's going to be a virtual.
you still.
That's I think
Yeah.
the temple.
Anyway,
is issuing
that
those
would be the
rules.
only reason that we'd be going up north at the moment. But yes, fingers crossed we will be.
We
able to see
love
that.
the Walt Disney Family Museum.
It's amazing.
Love
Well,
it.
you're on the board.
I'm on the advisory board. Yeah.
Yeah. And I will say, we told this before, but it thrills me. If you have been there and you've noticed what a fantastic gift shop they have, you can thank one Miss Alice Maltin. When they opened, on opening night, when they had this big event, and Diane Disney Miller got up, she did actually say in her speech that Alice Maltin told her that they had to have a great gift shop. Because a museum without a great gift shop, why even bother?
Why, Bob?
So anytime you buy anything from them, blame her.
Thank you.
I've been on a film noir kick the last couple of days and have watched Robert, I don't want to pronounce that wrong.
Siadmak.
Oh, good. You can't do it either.
Siadmak.
Crisscross and Christmas Holiday and Otto Preminger's Laura. His film Whirlpool and Scott Frank's The Lookup are up next.
Well, that's great.
It's a great list.
The Lookout is not often named in film noir.
Yeah, but it's there.
But it belongs there. It's as good as some of those 1940s and 50s titles. But you're
that's good
you're
stuff.
working your way through
That's good stuff.
some of the primo stuff.
And we did just interview Scott Frank for our show, and you can listen to that. Our podcast is free. You can listen to it. It's on all the anywhere that podcasts exist. So if you go to iTunes or Google Play or anything like that, if you just type in Maltin on Movies podcast, you'll see all the episodes come up. And he was wonderful to speak to. So the last question I'll do is, who are some of the film critics you admire the most, past or present?
Tricky.
Oh no, Mama, he gets asked this a lot. He's
Oh
got
no,
some
I know
solid
this,
answers.
but you feel funny about your
No,
colleagues.
Daddy's got his good ones. I know your list.
Well, the most underrated, a brilliant and underrated film critic is Todd McCarthy, who spent 31 years at Variety, Daily Variety here in Hollywood, and is now writing, past several years, for The Hollywood Reporter and also for Deadline.
Mm-hmm.
And so Todd was never read by the general public.
Yeah. He's great.
Because it was a trade magazine,
Yeah.
Daily Variety, and very few civilians would read that. But now, thanks to the internet, you can. If you go past their paywall, and it's worth doing, because Todd writes so well, and he absorbs a movie.
Yeah.
He absorbs every facet of a movie on the first viewing, and can write. And now he has to do it on tighter deadlines than ever before.
Yeah.
He used to at least have a day or two to think about it, but now on the internet era, you have
Has to be faster than
to post
that.
right away.
But
anyway,
that's always the first name my dad lists.
Mhm.
Todd McCarthy. That's one of his favorites. And then
Yep.
Justin.
Chang, who is now the senior film critic for LA Times, and a former student of
A
mine.
former student. That's
But
right.
I didn't teach him anything. But he's brilliant.
He is an incredible writer.
Yeah.
Yeah,
A beautiful
and he
writer.
loves puns.
He is the king of puns. If you follow him on Twitter, he is the king of puns, and it is so damn
He loves
funny.
wordplay.
It is so damn funny.
So we're very lucky here in LA to have several, fine film critics. Kenny Turan recently
I
retired
loved Kenny.
from the LA Times.
Loved
I always enjoyed reading him because he's a good writer.
Yeah.
By the time I'm reading a review, chances are I've seen the movie and made up my own mind about the movie, about the quality or the value of the film. So what I'm looking for is a well-written essay.
Yeah.
And that's what Kenny Turan always delivered.
Yeah. And over the years, you come to really enjoy Roger's writing.
I never had a chance to read Roger Ebert
Because he was in Chicago.
because he was in Chicago and the LA Times did not carry his reviews, nor did any of the New York papers. And again, retroactively, I've now dug deep into his archive because he's posted everything. You can read all of his reviews, decades worth of his reviews. And I didn't know what a I want to keep using the word brilliant. I have to get a thesaurus, but he's a remarkable writer, really, because he manages in his essays to be very personal, referring to things from his life and his experiences, like being raised by nuns, going to school, and it doesn't take it away from being a universal comment on the movie. He makes it personal without making it egomaniacal, if that makes sense. I like Anthony Lane in The New Yorker. Always enjoyed reading him. I don't get to read a lot of critics. I like our friend.
Which friend?
You
got a lot.
Alonzo Duralde.
Alonzo Duralde is fantastic.
Writes for The Wrap.
We love
Alonzo.
You can read him online. Always worth reading.
And he has multiple podcasts.
Yeah. And there are many, many, many others.
Alinda Wheat has always been great.
Yeah.
She worked for People Magazine for a long time. She's fantastic, really funny, really clever. I'm trying to think. There are so many.
Claudia? Is Claudia a film reviewer or just
sort of?
Well, she was.
Yeah.
But she still is.
Yeah.
You can hear her on Film Week.
Yeah.
On KPCC radio.
Yep.
And
Claudia Puig.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Her name out.
There are many, many others,
Yeah.
and but those are the ones that I pretty consistently
that you go to. And as I say, because he gets asked that a lot, so I know his short list well. But that's the thing is at the end of the day, you want a good writer. And I think that for anybody who does read film critics, that's a big piece of it, is you want someone that tells you why,
If I've already seen the movie, what I want to see is, what didn't I see on my own? What didn't I appreciate? What didn't I understand? If they can illuminate something for me and help me understand better why I liked it or why I disliked it, then that's a service that they're performing for me as a reader. And they often do. There's another writer that I won't name in a national magazine who I've never met. I'm told he's a nice man. I hope that's true. But his taste is from some other planet, not in this solar system. So
Okay.
I can't trust or rely on it.
Okay.
Which doesn't mean I have to agree with the review. Justin Chang and I often disagree.
Oh yeah.
But I still get a lot of value from reading him.
Yeah. As I say, he's a beautiful writer. I'm always telling him he should just write books. I think that he should just write. He's
so
a
smart.
Beautiful writer.
Damn smart. Yeah.
And recently had a second daughter.
Oh,
yes.
He's got two little girls now, which is very exciting too.
Yeah.
And we kept joking. So Justin and his wife got married at Union Station. So everybody kept this.
It's a good marriage.
Everybody kept teasing that that's actually where the Oscars got the idea.
Yeah.
Is they went to Justin's wedding and they said, you know what? It looks really nice. So I think we'll stick with that. Is there anything coming up that you're looking forward to? I know TCM. So is TCM going to be next weekend?
It's next weekend.
I have no sense of time anymore.
Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Right.
Of next week, and I must admit, I mean, I'm happy that they can't do an in-person festival.
Yeah.
Second year now. I'm happy that they're doing something special. They have some debuts, a couple of films. They're showing Ernst Lubitsch's So This Is Paris, which is a great film, great silent film, with a new orchestral score by Robert Israel.
Okay. Like that.
And
Excuse me, Jesse.
They're showing Serge Bromberg's Méliès documentary, which I am privileged to narrate.
You're the English narrator.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oui.
But navigating the menu of what is showing,
there's a lot there
Because
there's a lot going on.
Yeah, they're part of
some of it is on TCM, plain old TCM.
Yeah.
Some of it is only on TCM.com.
Yep.
And they're doing some live shots from TCM.com and with some of the bonus material and interviews and such. And some of it is only on HBO Max.
Very confusing.
Which is the parent of TCM.
Yes.
And all part of the
AT&T, the happy family.
Yes, the Warner Media family.
The conglomerate that is, yes.
So not easy to navigate,
No.
but worth the trouble.
Yeah.
Worth the trouble because there's some good stuff there.
And again, better than nothing, for everybody who enjoys this stuff, better than nothing. So that'll be happening next weekend.
Yep.
So that's sort of what something nice to look forward to.
Yes.
Are there any movies that you're excited about?
Movies?
I know, right? I know.
What are movies?
I have no idea.
Nothing yet that would inspire me to overcome my trepidation about going to a movie theater.
Yeah.
My husband and I keep talking about maybe going to see Godzilla because he'd like to see it on a big screen. So we'll see if we'll see how we feel.
Just not ready to go into a theater.
Yeah.
Leonard and I. No.
Yeah. We'll see how we feel. We are all vaccinated.
Yeah,
thankfully.
vaccinated.
But that doesn't mean you're not careful. Or let me rephrase, it shouldn't mean you're not careful. Well, yeah. We'll see what happens this week and what shenanigans we get into. Thank you, as always, for joining us. We really appreciate it. We're always incredibly grateful to everyone who supports us on Patreon. Very, very kind of you. You can find us all on the various social places.
We just posted a fun episode of our podcast Friday with Richard Kind.
Richard Kind.
Such
a love.
Actor. Yeah.
He's a delight. But yeah. Fingers crossed we'll all be seeing you at the movies very soon.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And until then, we will see you next week.
We'll be right here.
Bye-bye. For now.